Hello friends, a very warm welcome to the Crochet Hook channel. Today we are going to learn how to crochet this beautiful crochet pattern. It's a very simple, easy and yet very elegant crochet pattern. For my friends who are joining me here for the first time, please do consider subscribing to my channel. That means a lot. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Let's have a closer look of the pattern. Here, from this DC, I'm showing in the second row, till this second chain here, this is 14 stitches. Again, from this DC till this second chain, this is 14 stitches. So from here till here, this is one repeat. From here till here, this is the second repeat of the pattern. So this pattern is a repeat of 14 stitches. Also, if we have a look onto the rows, this is the first row, the row of DC. This is also included in the pattern. Then row 2, 3 and 4. And here comes row 5, which is similar to row 1. So then 5 is similar to row 1, row 6 is similar to row 2, row 7 is similar to row 3, row 8 is similar to row 4. So here 5, 6, 7 and 8 are the rows that are going to be repeated over and over, 5, 6, 7, 8, to reach your desired length you're aiming for. Have a closer look. So let's get started with the pattern without much ado. So here I have taken yarn of my choice and a crochet hook of 2.50 millimeters. So let's get started. So then to begin with, work a slip knot like this. And as I've already mentioned, the stitch is a repeat of 14 stitches. And so you can go for any multiple of 14 plus add 10 more chains. And here I'm going to work 3 repetitions of this pattern. So I'm going for 42 chains plus 10 chains, a total of 52 chains I'm going to work. So then here I have finished all the 52 chains. And now to begin the round 1 yarn over, skip 4 chains from the hook, insert the hook into the 5th chain and work 1 DC like this. This first chain 4 also counts as a DC. So then we have 2 DCs now. Then again yarn over, work 1 DC into the next chain. We have 3 DCs now. Yarn over, work 1 DC into the next chain ahead. Simple round of DCs. Just keep creating 1 DC into every chain below till you reach the end like this. And by the end we should have a total of 49 DCs made till here. So here I have worked all my DCs. The first row is completed and I have 49 DCs made. Nextly, to begin the round 2, chain 3. This chain 3 stands for a DC. Turn the work, yarn over, insert the hook into the next DC below, work 1 DC. So now we have 2 DCs. Yarn over again, work 1 DC into the next DC. 3 DCs now. Work 1 DC into the next DC. 4. Yarn over, work 1 DC into the next DC. 5. Yarn over, work 1 DC into the next DC. 6. Yarn over, work 1 DC into the next DC. 7. So in a row we are going to create 7 DCs everywhere like this. Then chain 2, 1 and 2. Yarn over, skip 3 DCs below. Insert the hook into the 4th DC, work 1 DC. Then chain 1, yarn over again, insert the hook into the same stitch and work 1 more DC here. So a V stitch is created. Then chain 2 again, yarn over, skip 3 DCs below, 1, 2 and 3. Insert the hook into the 4th DC and from here begin counting. This is the first DC and again we'll create 7 DCs in a row. So then work 1 DC into the next DC, 2. Yarn over, work 1 DC into the next DC, 3. Yarn over, work 1 DC into the next DC, 4. Yarn over, work 1 DC into the next DC, 5. Yarn over, work 1 DC into the next DC, 6. And 1 more to go. Yarn over, work the 7th DC into the 7th DC below like this. So again 7 DCs in a row are created again. So this is what we have created. Then chain 2 again, yarn over, skip 3 DCs below, insert the hook into the 4th DC below, work 1 DC, then chain 1 and yarn over, work 1 more DC in the same stitch we created this DC and chain. So a V stitch is created again. Then chain 2, yarn over, skip 3 DCs below, insert the hook into the 4th DC below and begin working 7 consecutive DCs from here. So first is made, yarn over into the next DC, work the second DC, 2, into the next DC, work the third DC, 3, into the next DC, work the 4th DC, 4, into the next DC, work 5th DC, 5, into the next DC, work the 6th DC, 6, into the next DC, create the 7th DC. So 7 DCs are created in a row again here, like this. This is what we have created. Then chain 2 again, yarn over, skip 3 DCs below, insert the hook into the 4th DC, work 1 V stitch here. So 1 DC, chain 1 and 1 more DC into the same stitch. So this creates a V stitch, chain 2 again, 1 and 2, yarn over, skip 3 DCs below, insert the hook into the 4th DC and from here begin counting 7 DCs in a row. So then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then into this top 4th chain, insert the hook, work the 7th DC, the last DC of this row, like this. So this finishes round 2 here. 7 consecutive DCs are created. This is how it looks until now. For the round 3, here we have for the round 3, chain 3 and turn the work. Yarn over, this chain 3 stands for a DC, then we have 6 DCs below, just work 1 DC atop each of them. So we are again creating 7 DCs in a row. 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. And now we are going to work triple crochets. After these 7 consecutive DCs being created, we are going to work triple crochets. So then yarn over twice, insert the hook into this chain 1 space of the V stitch below like this and work a triple crochet like this. Yarn over again, yarn over twice, again work 1 triple crochet in the same chain 1 space below like this. 2 triple crochets worked, yarn over twice again, insert the hook into the same chain 1 space and create 1 more triple crochet. The 3rd triple crochet is created. So we have 3 triple crochets worked. Then chain 1, yarn over twice, and again we'll create 3 triple crochets in the same chain 1 space. 1, 2 and 3. Like this. So a shell kind of this structure is created. So then yarn over, skip this 2 chains below, and then we have 7 DCs ahead. Just begin working 1 DC atop each of the 7 DCs below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. 7 DCs in a row are created. This is how it looks. Then again we have this V stitch here, yarn over twice and work 3 triple crochets in this V stitch. 1 triple crochet worked, yarn over twice again. The 2nd triple crochet is worked, yarn over twice again. Create the 3rd triple crochet in the same chain 1 space of the V stitch below. Then chain 1, yarn over twice, create 3 more triple crochets in the same chain 1 space below. 1, 2 and 3. Then skip the 2 chains below. We have 7 DCs ahead, yarn over. Just begin working 1 DC atop each of the 7 DCs below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Again, yarn over twice, and we have this V-stitch. Again, we'll be creating a shell with triple crochets. Yarn over twice, work 1 triple crochet in this chain 1 space of the V-stitch below. Again, yarn over twice, work 1 more triple crochet, 2, yarn over twice again, work the 3rd triple crochet in the same chain 1 space here. Then chain 1. Again, create 3 triple crochets in the same chain 1 space below. 1, 2 and 3. Then skip the 2 chains below. Shell is created, and here we have 7 DCs ahead. Just begin working 1 DC atop every DC below. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in this top 3rd chain inside the hook, work the 7th DC of this row. So here we have 3 rows finished till now. And this is how it looks. We'll go for 1 more row. So then chain 3, that counts as a DC. Then yarn over, work 1 DC into the next DC, and we are going for 7 DCs in a row. 2 already made. Work the 3rd DC in the next DC, then work the 4th DC in the next DC, yarn over, work the 5th DC in the next DC, yarn over, work the 6th DC into the next DC, and yarn over, work the 7th DC of this row here in the next DC below. So 7 DCs in a row are created. Then chain 2, yarn over. We have this chain 1 space between the 2 sets of 3 triple crochets here. Into this chain 1 space, work 1 DC, chain 1, and yarn over, work 1 more DC in the same chain 1 space below. Again, a small V-stitch is created just like we created in row 2. Then chain 2, yarn over, and we have 7 DCs ahead. Just begin working 1 DC atop each of the 7 DCs below. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Chain 2 again, yarn over. In this chain 1 space of the shell below, work 1 small V-stitch, 1 DC, then work 1 chain, and then work 1 more DC in the same chain 1 space. A small V-stitch is created. Then chain 2, yarn over. We have 7 DCs ahead. Just work 1 DC atop each of the 7 DCs below. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6 and 1 more, 7. This is how it looks. Then chain 2 and create a V-stitch into this chain 1 space. So then yarn over, work 1 DC, then work 1 chain, yarn over, work 1 more DC in the same chain 1 space here. This creates a small V-stitch. Then chain 2, 1 and 2, yarn over. We have 7 DCs ahead. Just work 1 DC atop each of the 7 DCs below. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and here in this top third chain inside the hook, work the 7th DC of this row. So here 4 rows are finished till now. This is how it looks. For the 5th row, which is just like row 1, chain 3 and turn the work. And just like this row, we'll be working every 5th row the same way. So then work 7 DCs in a row as we always do. Work 1 DC into 6 upcoming 6 DCs below to have a total of 7 DCs. 4, 5, 6 and 7. So we have 7 DCs created that we always create. And then we have this chain 2 space. Work 3 DCs in this chain 2 space. 1, 2 and 3. Then yarn over, work 1 DC in this chain 1 space of the V-stitch below. Then yarn over, work 3 DCs in this chain 2 space. This is how we are going to work this row into every repeat ahead, 2 and 3. So we have filled this space. This is the simple round of DCs. Then again we have 7 DCs ahead. Just work 1 DC atop each of the 7 DCs below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and then we have this chain 2 space next to it. This is the row 1 and row 5 is just like row 1. So we are just working DCs in this row. Yarn over in this chain 2 space, work 3 DCs. 1, 2 and 3. Then in the chain 1 space of the V-stitch here, work 1 DC. Then in this chain 2 space again, work 3 DCs. 1, 2 and 3. And again we have 7 DCs ahead. Just work 1 DC atop each of the 7 DCs below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and then again one more time we have this chain 2, work 3 DCs in this chain 2 space. 1, 2 and 3. In the chain 1 space of the V-stitch, work 1 DC, and in the next chain 2 space again work 3 DCs here. 1, 2 and 3, and then we have this last 7 DCs ahead. Just work 1 DC at the top of each of the 7 DCs below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and to work the last one inside the hook into the top third chain, work the last 7th DC here. So here we have 5 rows completed, and from after 5, which is like row 1, again go for row 6, 7, 8, 8, which is like row 1, 2, 3 and 4. So just keep repeating 5, 6, 7 and 8 rows over and over. Have fun learning, have fun crocheting.